Hey guys, welcome back. This is video number 2 since we pivoted the channel, so welcome back to those of you who watched the first. If you haven't seen it, go check it out. Today we're talking about Atomic Habits by James Clear, a book all about changing your behaviours, changing your habits and getting into better habits and generally improving your lifestyle. So it's such an exciting book. I really want to share so many points of this, but today's video is specifically going to be focused on something called the 1% rule. And to give you an idea of just how excited I am about this book, I haven't even finished reading it yet. I'm only about halfway through it, and I've already changed some of my own behaviour because of what I've read in this book. It's actually so exciting and just, I cannot recommend it enough. But anyway, let's get right into the content. So a bit of important background on why habits are important in the first place. And the way James Clear, the author, goes about explaining it is that, well, everyone goes through a lot of hard times, a lot of problems that may disrupt your normal behavior or your habits, but it's important to stick with these habits because in the long run, these habits are going to be what defines you as a person. To break it down even more, essentially who you are, your identity as a person, is determined a lot by your habits over a long period of time. So if you have good habits over a long period of time, you're going to be in a significantly better position than if you have bad ones over the same period of time. And I think the best way that James summarizes this with like an explanation is when he describes the origins of the word identity in Latin. And it comes from the two words essentitas, which means being, and identitem, which means repeating or repeated. So quite literally, the word identity means repeated being. Who you are as a person, your identity is what you repeatedly do over periods of time. So moving on to think more about the 1% rule. You can think of the temptation to try and make a big change in your life. I mean, I think we've all been guilty of trying to make a really big change for the better in our lives. New Year's resolutions, for example, you want to cut out eating all kinds of junk food just for good. I think loads of people have tried this, myself included, although I'm not big on New Year's resolutions, I have tried it and failed after about a week because these sorts of changes are really large and really hard to sustain because it's not ingrained within you. You've got habits already in place for what you eat, what you do, any kind of behaviour. And it's really hard to change these over a long period of time if you do a huge big change like that. So it's important to start small and work your way up to that. Now, you may be thinking, but I want a big change. If I just do a small change, it's not going to do anything. Well, that's where you're wrong. Lots of small changes over time can actually accumulate and compound to become a lot bigger than any one single change that you could ever implement in your life. And because you're making them small at a time, they're much more manageable. This is the whole point of the 1% rule. And if you're sitting there thinking, it couldn't, 1% changes over a long period of time, they're not going to add up to that much, it's such an insignificant number. Well, take this into account then. If you make, over the course of 1 year, 1% improvements in yourself every single day, so you improve yourself 1% every single day, then you're going to be 37 times better at the end of the year than you were at the beginning of the year. If you turn that on its head and you actually decrease at 1% for the whole year, i.e. you're in bad habits, small bad habits albeit, but small bad habits nonetheless, then if you do that 1% decrease for the entire year, you're almost at 0% from when you started. That's the power of small habits. This is the diagram that explains it best. So on our left we have our results and at the bottom we have our time. And this is our baseline where we begin at the start of the year. If we make 1% improvements over the course of that year, so every single day improve by 1%, we are going to be 37 times better at the end of the year because of it. At the same time, if we decrease at a rate of 1% for the entire year every single day, we're going to be almost 0% compared to where we were at the very beginning of the year. When I first heard that 37 times as well, I was blown away. So imagine one single action that could propel you to be 37 times better than you are right now. Like, I can't even begin to fathom what that action would have to be. It would have to be absolutely immense in stature and just completely undoable. It would be impossible. I can't even begin to imagine what it would look like. And I imagine neither could you. But is it possible over the course of a year with lots of 1% changes? So that should hopefully put in your mind the power of small habits and the 1% rule. So if you're sort of interested in overnight success and that one big action that propels you to success, I think you just need to take in mind that no matter what you're going to do, it's going to be really difficult to have overnight success if that is even a thing that's possible. Even a lot of the companies and a lot of the people that you associate with being overnight success is like one that I used to think was Netflix. But then I was listening to a podcast, the Tim Ferriss Show, with Mark Randolph, the co-founder of Netflix, and he was talking about how there was so many years of preparation and building up to where Netflix is today, not to mention taking on Blockbuster. Who even remembers them, right? And they ended up actually beating Blockbuster. They took on this mega giant and beat them over years of grueling change and chipping away. And I think that is just like the moral of the story. Small habits accumulate over time. You put in the effort 1% at a time and they will compound and do you wonders as long as you do it and continue to do it. So remember, 1% changes over the course of a long period of time are going to do you so much better than trying to make huge changes in your own life, because they're going to be manageable and they are going to compound over time to give you the results that you really want. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Please leave a like, let me know in the comments if there's any other ideas you want me to discuss, and please let me know what you thought of this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye bye.